Hey guys, good morning. How is everybody doing out there? Market's doing pretty well lately. Well, let's check it out. Start with futures, S&P futures, ES, otherwise known as ES futures, and the bulls did get it back up here into this balance area we've been looking at for a few days. Obviously, bulls want to get further than that, but that was a definite first step from the pullback. 64.15 area. Big overnight action, left behind a gap, a bullish gap. Gap rules say go in the direction of gaps that aren't filled. I think the gap rules actually say immediately, but I say that aren't filled pretty quick. Anyway, let's just mark that gap off on the chart and we'll take a look at it. But it definitely a gap that's still there at the end of the day. It's a powerful sign. A bullish gap that's still there at the end of the day is a powerful sign of bullish pressure in the market. All right, so there we have it. You can see we've already came back and filled about half of the gap. A lot of people like that also for a buy signal if it stops there. Also, there's a low volume node right here where this yellow line is. That might be a good dip buy place, or maybe right where we're at, it's a good dip buy place if you're day trading. All right, so let's look at NASDAQ futures. These things are up almost a point. Wow. They went beyond their or beyond the balance area I was looking at. Very good. NASDAQ leads the way lots of times. A bullish week finishes Friday on the highs. I'm not saying we're having a bullish week, but it looks pretty bullish so far. So NASDAQ's going up. Now, the strange thing, the NASDAQ didn't leave behind a gap. The NASDAQ. So anyway, no gap in the NASDAQ like there is in the SPY, but the NASDAQ nevertheless is blowing up right now. Good job, NASDAQ. I'll look at this one. Bitcoin's up more than a point, finally breaking out of this balance area they've been stuck in at 114. These guys are trying to get it stuck back up here in balance at 118. Or not trying to get it stuck, but that'd be the first target. Let's look at IBIT. All right, well, IBIT's pretty much returned to its higher balance area, or their higher balance area is about 67 or so. But that's where it was at trading in balance. 67 was where it's trading in balance from the 11th of July till the last day of the month, and then it fell out of balance. And that was probably because of Coinbase's earnings. Now it's trying to, no, Bitcoin's not related to Coinbase. I shouldn't say that. But in any event, that's why the market fell out of balance was Coinbase's earnings. But Bitcoin actually started dropping a little bit before the market did. Maybe Bitcoin knew something the market didn't. All right, 10-year is flat. AMD looks good, up 5%. You got to love that. They're leaving behind a bullish gap. They have bullish gaps all the time. They leave behind right there being a prime one that was tested, filled about halfway. Amazon looking really good this morning, up 1.3%. Coinbase is finally starting to climb back up. They left a huge bearish gap behind, but now this morning they're leaving a bullish gap behind. We'll see. We shall see. I would say first step for these guys is to try to get it back up here into this middle balance range at 353, and then eventually the bulls would like to get it up here to 395 and beyond. Let's see, even Coney's up this morning. We'll look at the buffer report in a second, but there it is right there. Coinbase is up 3.8. Coney's up 3.1, so that's like 80% or something. Anyway, that's a great job. Coney catching a lot of that upside. FEPI's looking good. GME's looking good. Let's look at Google. Google looks good, up a third of a point. Everything looks good when the market's up. I can't really find anything that's down except VIX, and we want VIX to be down. And we're fine with VIX being down. And VIVIX. VIVIX is down more than VIX. VIVIX is more of a pro indicator. VIX is more of a Joe indicator. So pro's even more bearish on volatility than the Joes, at least this morning. So that's a good sign. That is a really good sign. Who else here this morning? Hey, Dan, blocks it again. Cool. I'm glad about that. We're going to have a little blocks report here. In fact, we'll do the Crypto Trinity next. Or actually, hey, Mark, what's up? Let's actually go to the index buffer report, and then we'll go to the Crypto Trinity. Hey, Jax. Dan said, hey, you want to come up here and say, hey, come here, Jax. Now, he doesn't want to say, hey. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? Blocks is definitely bloxing. Jackson doesn't want to say hi to everybody. He's going over there. He's crashing. He's out here. All right, Jax, I'll try to keep it down. There's Jonathan. What is the Crypto Trinity? The Crypto Trinity is probably marginally blasphemous to say. Maybe I should call it something else. The Crypto Trinity is this spreadsheet. And all it is, it used to be called the Altiverse. Yeah, I mean, remember I used to do Alti GPTY and probably need to add GPTY back in again and Chippy. We used to look at Alti, GPTY, and Chippy. Well, now that I learned JavaScript or learned how to make AI tell me JavaScript, I've rebuilt that, and it's basically this. Basically this. Alti itself is up 1.5, while the average stock, not including their weightings, I just used the average stock, so is just equally weighted, is up 2.6. They're really benefiting from MBIS. That is great. Boy, that's awesome. App is up 10%. Bitmine immersion is up nearly 10%. I mean, this all looks pretty good to me. Hood is up 5%. Upstart's up nearly 5%. UVIX is down. They still have that in the portfolio, but I don't think it's down for them, though, because let's go look at their position. Yeah, they're just waiting for time to expire. They're short the 20, short the 16, short the 20 call, short the 16 put. They just want prices of UVIX to stay between 20 and 16. And even if they go under 16, that's all right because they're also long of 14. Or actually, they're short the 20 and short the 14. So they want prices of UVIX to stay between 20 and 14. And they're just burning up all that theta, and it's working out. Look, they shorted 10,000 of these at 14. That's only at 3 cents. You know, they probably shorted it for a couple of dollars or a dollar at least or something. So that's nearly 100% profit. And then they also shorted the 20s, and that's at 52 cents. I don't know what their short price was. This doesn't track the trades. There's a guy right now on Twitter that's tracking the trades and doing a better job than I can do. So, but I'd like to build something like he has. Be that as it may, we're just looking at the positions. But anyway, so that's a good position for these guys. Let's go over here and look at UVIX. I used to look at UVXY every morning back when I first started trading 2020 and 2021. Nowadays, UVIX is what all the cool kids are using. So yeah, so here we have UVIX at 16. As long as it doesn't go above 20 or under 14, they burn up all that theta, and these guys are just killing it. Last week, they had a UVIX position on that was long, but then after it went up, I think they cashed in the long wing and just let the rest of the stuff burn up. Just let the rest of because they made pretty good money on that. I think we figured it out. Or I didn't figure it out. The guy that tracks the trades did, but they made really good money on that, $1.5 million or something. Anyway, adjusted the position, rolled into what's it called? A theta positive position where they're catching time decay. Anyway, great job. All right, so let's go back to the old Crypto Trinity, finish that. All right, so that's Alti. So let's look at LFGY. So there's the stock. There's actual weightings on the stock. we can see that money market's down to 1.2. Let's look at the LFGY verse. Okay, LFGY is killing it. It's up 1.1. Average stock in their portfolio is up 1.5. Bitmine immersion, once again, is killing it. Hood and this Ethereum A or whatever this is. I never know what to call this one. But this is one that also is in Blocks' portfolio. Blocks has a lot of it. I think Blocks has about 20% of this thing. I'm sure it just gives you Ethereum access. So we just got a new flash. Anyway, that's looking really good. We can look over here at the option positions of LFGY and let's see what they're doing with Ethereum A. Or I don't know why I called Ethereum A. That's just, I'm making my own names for stuff today. That's probably has nothing whatsoever to do with its actual name. But anyway, let's look at this ETF, whatever it is, ETHA. They are doing a covered call spread. Or actually right here, I'm assuming they own the stock. This just shows the options, but assuming they also own the stock, which they do, it's yeah, they do. That was that last chart. The stock is 4.28% of their portfolio. All right. Well, anyway, so they have the stock, plus it's a covered call spread. They're short the 28s and then long the 30s in case it blows right through that. All right. So let's look at old Ethereum A or whatever the heck this is called. It's just called the iShares Ethereum Trust. Okay. All right. Well, iShares Ethereum Trust. So they were short the what? These are different numbers though. Hang on, let's go back. Let's go back here to the Crypto Trinity. ETHA. $28s and $30s or $2,800s and $3,000s or Well, so let's look at funds. There it is. All right, there we go. There's different trusts. Well, this thing's gapping up this morning. They may be glad they got that extra little bit of upside there. This might be, everyone's trading IBIT as a proxy. I don't know how liquid these options are, but this might be a good one to look at in the future. But the bearish case is, or the neutral case is that it just gets stuck back here in this trading range. It's pretty well established between 26 and 29. But bulls obviously want to pop the top off this trading range. We'll see if they can do it. All right. Let's go back over here to the Crypto Trinity. Anything else that's interesting over here as far as options go? I'm just scanning it real quick. Block had earnings today or last night or whatever. They're an earnings stock. Maybe it's coming up this afternoon. It's actually coming up this afternoon, and I've already got the earnings report ready for you guys. I'm sorry it was kind of a bust yesterday. I didn't get it ready till like 2:20, and I came on here and did a real quick report. Well, it's all the data has been crunched, and I can share that with you guys if you want, or we'll look at that in just a second. But we aren't going to have to make as fast of decisions as yesterday. And I'm looking, there's a couple that look interesting to me, Block being one of them. Block being the most liquid of all of them. And, liquidity is a big part of it. There's one that has a ton of call skew that we might look at also. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so that's LFGY. Now, Blocks is Blocksing, according to Dan. So I said they had 20% of that Ethereum Trust. Well, it's 11%. I was getting it confused with FBTC and HODL. They have 18 of those two and 11 of, call it 12 of the Ethereum Trust. Too bad they don't have more Bitmine immersion. What are these guys doing? Come on, guys. Even LFGY had a good portion. Anyway, but LFGY doesn't have HODL and FBTC. So anyway. All right. Well, let's look over here at the Blocksy verse. All right. Look at this. Blocks is beating its average. Blocks is up 3.2%, just killing it. Average is up 1.89. That's good. They're outperforming their average. Let's look at their option positions. Do they have any? Let's see. Well, I didn't sort this before, but I was just mainly looking. What are they doing in Ethereum? Let's just sort this out here and see what their trade is on that. I'm starting to get interested in that because that's the next Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's already too high, but maybe Ethereum isn't. It probably is too, or Ether or whatever. So what do these guys got going on? They have the 29.31 covered call spread because they own the stock, selling the 29s, which is basically where we opened today. Now they're going out till next week on this. Okay, so what they're really hoping is that we go past 31 between now and next Friday. Great job. And then on so they have a covered call spread on that. This is a hybrid plan. But then on the individual stocks like Bitmine Immersion, they're doing the lightning spread, selling the 40, buying the 35. It's also a bullish strategy, just has a little bit different way of working out. Oh, and that's salty again. Okay, so that's it for the Crypto Trinity. What else? So let's look at some. You guys want to look at earning stocks? Let's see what Jonathan's talking about. Yeah, you trade IBIT? Sweet. Yeah, IBIT's, I mean, it's the best. I guess it's the best proxy right now. For a while, it was Speedo, right? People were trading BITO. I mean, even the funds, like when Maxi first came out a year and a half ago, I think it was selling SPX premium and also selling BITO premium or anyway, but now all the cool kids are using IBIT. And I found out about that from the guys in Discord. All the guys in Discord were using IBIT all of a sudden. I was still using BITO or still looking at BITO for a proxy. Okay, yeah, Block has earnings call today. Okay, well, since we're talking about earnings, let's go to earnings because I spend a lot of time doing this, so we might as well get some use out of it. Okay, this is called the earnings extravaganza, or no, the earnings cheat sheet. Okay, so what I've done is I've updated just for the ones that are today and tomorrow, and I didn't do any that were under 10. I mean, I guess SoundHound is right at 10, but some were just too low to do, so I nixed them. So what I like to do is that the friction percentage, you want this as low as possible. You can get in and out of blocks for a dime or 10 basis points. And that's assuming you're selling us out of the money strangle. But that's just kind of a good proxy to look at for liquidity. So these were all based on the closing price, but I'm going to, before I put on trade on, I'll probably refresh these before we'll have an options study hall at 1:00. And I'll really be here at 1 because the only reason I wasn't here at 1 yesterday was the haircut and because I didn't have this finished. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning and I got this finished. So, in any event, and the closing prices are probably probably good enough to get an idea. I mean, some SMR is illiquid or it's less liquid. It's a $48 stock and it costs 34 cents. There's a 34-cent bid-ask spread on the strangle. That's 75 bips. I mean, so even though the actual numbers might change, I'm saying that SMR is less liquid than block for whatever reason. So it doesn't mean you can't do something in SMR, but be cautious. The other statistical anomaly on here is SoundHound. SoundHound has a ton of call skew. At least it did at the close last night. So let's go check that out. Maybe let's look at a SoundHound trade right now. Let's see if it still has the call skew on it. But from left to right, this just means that's the price. That's the current price. This is the expected move at the close yesterday, $1.31. And that's a 12% expected move. So that's a pretty high one. The implied vol is 147. And get this, the IV premium, that right there is how much more is. No, I'm sorry. Okay. That's how much more is the IV this week than next week. So the ones that have a super high premium, like Pinterest might be a good candidate for a calendar, and the ones that have the lower premium might not be. But I bet that's wrong. I bet that Akabe's wrong. Anyway, but so I'm looking at right now this early in the morning. I'm looking at Pinterest, and on Pinterest, on SoundHound, I will probably do. I'm not going to do a risk reversal because the out of the money calls are too expensive relative to the at the money. So we'll look for a different strategy on that. But it might set up for one on some of these other ones like Win or something. Now Win doesn't have a lot of liquidity. Let's just sort it by liquidity. Liquidity is probably I could probably save myself a lot of time and just look at the liquidity, and then evaluate the rest of the stuff while I'm making the trade. Look at the liquidity and then say, okay, when I didn't see this, this one has liquidity too, CELH. Anyway, we'll look at those during earnings study hall. I'll be here at 1:00 for real, so we'll have plenty of time to get on the trades. And I can share this with you guys or whatever. I'll share it in earnings study hall. It's not really that good. But I mean, you guys saw the conclusions from it. The conclusions from it are SoundHound, CELH, and XYZ. Those are the ones that I'm looking at right now. Not that some of these other ones might not be, might not work out also. The problem with SoundHound is, though, you get some skew, but it's kind of on the less liquid side. So who knows? Anyway, CleanSpark could be a good one too, especially for smaller accounts since it's only a $10 stock. But we'll look at that during earnings study hall. So do I have what is this? Do I have an, oh yes, I'm doing an X podcast tomorrow at 11. It's called Welcome to the Pit at 11 my time, or is it 10 my time? I don't know. I'll look at the thing. I think it's 11 my time. It is 11 my time. It's called Welcome to the Pit. I'm going to be on there, I think, with Brad and with who else besides Brad? I already forgot. Jonathan's here. If he's still here, he'll put it in. He's probably not still here because he would have probably put the answer in the comments. Or he's here, but maybe he's doing something else. But yeah, tomorrow at 11. And then, tomorrow at 11. Absolutely. It's called Welcome to the Pit. And I don't know if he's announced what's being evaluated. Just I did it a couple weeks ago too, where we compare two different stocks. It may be Amy Roundhill that's doing it again. I just forgot. I know it's Brad and maybe it's just Brad and Amy, which should be a good crew. Anyway, but I don't know if the two ETFs we're comparing have been announced yet. I don't want to rain on Jonathan's parade. But anyway, it's a this or that show. It's which one's better, Last time I think it was Alti no, it wasn't. It wasn't. Anyway, all right. But yeah, that's later on. And also have my first consulting appointment today at 11. I'm real excited about that. So I'll be busy between 11 and 12 if anyone's trying to get a hold of me in Discord. But I'll be around. But like I say, 1:00, we can do the 1:00 study hall. Be here at 1:00 and we'll do some actual trades. And I'll get out the Tasty trade also. And we'll look at, I won't just do them in option strat. Yesterday I was really in a hurry. So we did look at Tasty trade a little bit, but we'll just we'll do it right today. Get you guys some winners. Now, speaking of winners, let's go look. Let's see if any of those ones yesterday, how any of them turned out. And then I also thought maybe we could look at unusual option activity. I like to do that, and I also like to look at top cover call ideas, just because they're good places to do some of our strategies. Look at this Bitmine immersion. It's at 40 now, and they're selling the 65s. I mean, my Lord. I don't know where the price is. I guess they don't show the price on this one. You have to go to the full list. Anyway, we'll look at that in a second. Let's go see if any of these worked out yesterday. Well, let's see here. So the ones from yesterday were August 6th. So DraftKings up $23. ILNQ hasn't really worked out yet. Well, the call butterfly hasn't, but the risk reversal is working out. Then we have Elf. Come on, Elf. What is Elf doing? I guess Elf missed earnings. All right. Gosh darn it. I was talking to somebody in our Discord. I was doing some alternative ideas for QM Java in our Discord. He saw a trade, and it was, I think I may have closed it. Well, he saw a trade on bar chart. Anyway, let's go back to bar chart. There's really not much happening there. He saw bar chart will give you trades. Like right now, they have strategic arbitrage. Post earnings drama caused Dynatrace's call spreads to be favorably mispriced. I haven't even heard of Dynatrace. Anyway, but there was one yesterday that was showing you how to sell a put diagonal. Anyway, and I was just showing him some different ideas. But anyway, let's look at this. Let's see if there's any trades in here or anything. It's not really trades. This also this. I swear that the covered call screener. Some of these you probably don't want to do covered calls on Bitmine Immersion. I mean, because it always But you can also, I think you could use this to try to find stocks to buy. If you just like SBAT, we've been on that since 12 or something. Now it's trading at 22. NVTS. I don't know if this is one we need to pay attention to. Maybe it's the next SBAT. Open is too low. IREN, it's on here all the time. Fubo has earnings, but it was too cheap for me to mess with, so it's why it's not on the list. Rocket Lab has earnings, and this one you can, not that you maybe want to do this, but you can buy the stock for 44, sell the call for 50. But I mean, you do make a pretty good return doing that. ASTS is kind of the usual suspects. CIFR has earnings, but they aren't on the list. They're too low. HIMS is still HIMS is a hard stock to beat. Hard ETF. What's a stock? Hard stock to beat. What's stock? I've never heard of that one. STOK. I mean, is this the next SBET? QS QuantumScape. I have heard of that. I've been interested in this one for a long time. Lunar, I think these guys have. Don't these guys, or they had earnings? These guys have been on the earnings list at some point. Anyway, that's not a bad place to mine for trades. Not a bad place at all to mine for trades. All right, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything else, and I don't think I have forgot anything else. So I'm going to get out of here unless there's any last minute questions. But be back at 1, and we'll take our time today. And I'll be yesterday I was trying to answer questions and get the trades out before the end of the day at the same time, and it was just a mess. And like I say, that was my fault. But I spent all day doing that darn earnings sheet. I didn't realize how long it would take. And I forgot that I had an appointment to get my hair cut. But like I said, I got up at 6 this morning, got the earnings sheet done. So all I have to concentrate on today is my consulting appointment, and then we'll be back here at 1, right? All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah, hit the like button. That's a good suggestion. Help get the algorithm out there. If you guys know anyone that wants consulting, it doesn't necessarily have to be on. Today I'm consulting on stuff other than the market. It can also be on spreadsheets and data and stuff like that. It's whatever. Or if there's I'll do whatever. I will do whatever. You guys just or basically whatever. All right. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Mike, I appreciate you being here, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks, Mark. I'll see you later. I'll see you in Discord.